Page 13, Home for the Holidays. Or, There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays, depending on how long a title you want. 4/4 time with a 2-beat pickup. We're coming in on beat 3. Let's look at this. The right hand. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here we are moving around a bit, so look out. After you play that middle C, you got to reach up to get the C above. Then collapse the hand and come on down. This is like a C major scale here. The idea is eventually you want to be able to feel that octave here to here without looking at the keyboard, to be able to just do that. That'll help you out so much if you can do that. Then at the end of the line you do it again. Second line, D sharp. Now you have to reach up with a little finger to get the A. We just changed hand positions. Lift up between the phrases. Third line, come up with the thumb on the E. And then reach up for the D. Reach down for the thumb. And lift up. Last line, fourth finger on the A. Fourth finger on the D. I like that fingering very much. The last line, the first two measures, you're here. This is a common pattern in piano, and this is the fingering you'd use. That's, or you'd go up at 2. You should do it in both hands. This is the kind of thing where the Hannon and Czerny books, the exercise books, that I got links to them in my Amazon page. You can go find out the books. They have exercises in them with these different patterns in it. There's a lot of fun to play if you just want to push down notes. But it prepares you when you see that kind of stuff in music like this. You recognize it and, oh, I can play that, and then you just finger it the way you're accustomed to fingering it, which may or may not be what they're suggesting. But here, I like their suggestions. Yes, I'd finger it this way. Now the last measure on page 13, they've got a 1, 2, 1. Not crazy about that. You can do a 1, 3, 1 if you'd rather, but you're pretty much going to need the thumb on the last note. So whether you use a 2 or a 3 is up to you. Then at the top of page 14, it's here. Follow these slurs. Now some people teach on 2-note slurs to play the second one staccato. I don't. No, you separate them, but don't play them. Well, technically, if you separated it, this is staccato, but don't play a short note. That way. And in the second measure, watch the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then lift up and go down. You got that, and then the second line, we got the same fingering for the last two measures we had at the top. Again, 2 or 1, either, I don't care what. I tend to use the 3 because it's closer, and the 2 is more of a stretch. And then you're doing this again. Page 14, third line, last measure. They're saying, well, the last two measures. They're saying 2, 1, 3, and then the last line would be 2. Another fingering you can use would be there on the third line. The third measure is just stay where you're at and do a 2, 3, and reach up with the fourth finger to get the D. And then the last line, just come on down. And then cross over with the second finger. And then put the thumb on the last 2 G's. And then cross over, and you're in position. So slowly, what I'm suggesting, third line, third measure, is stay where you're at. Just reach up with the fourth finger to get the D. And then the last line, just stay where you're at. And then cross over in the second measure with second finger. And then thumb. and then back to their fingering. Remember to lift up between the phrases. And it's more of the same stuff you've had. Now let's go over to page 15. Fourth line down, second measure, you have the whole note, and then you have a half rest for 2 beats. And then it has both hands 8 VA. So the notes are written here, you're going to go up to here and play it an octave higher. Last line, stretch up to get the D, and then the C. That's the right hand. Now in this arrangement, the right hand gets the melody throughout, so the left hand is going to be soft throughout. At the beginning of page 13, it's here. 2, 3, 4. Make sure you play the rest. We got to be quiet during the rest. And the last 2 measures, the first line, I recommend you do a 2 on the G. This is common in piano to have to reach up with the second finger and get that. You don't need to cross over. That's awkward. And then the next line, you're 1, 2, 3, rest. You see that C sharp, G, A, and then the 4, 2, and then a 3, 1. That's good. I like that for the F natural G. And then you do that again. The third line down, last measure, you're here, and then for the E flat, G flat, 4, 2, and then again, you slide off, and then here, that's a 5, 7 chord, you know? And then here, it's a broken chord. On page 14, lots of half notes. Just keep them soft. 4 chord, 1 chord. Are we having fun yet? Page 15. Let's go over to, or all the way down the 4th line again. A 5, 7 chord, and then the broken 1 chord. And now we get both hands 8 VA. So now the notes are written here, but you're going to go up here, because both hands includes the left hand, you know. And then here. And you've already had these notes. The last line, their fingering is okay. Start second measure, and then here, and then 3, and then 1. That's alright. Work the hands out one at a time. So you got the fingering and what you want, and then try to put the hands together. Now remember, the melody's in the right hand, so the dynamics given apply to the melody. Everything else is softer than that. So at the beginning, this MF, it's mezzo forte, moderately loud, sort of loud, loud. You'll have to decide what that is. It's not loud, it's just sort of loud. Keep the left hand soft. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Make sure you're playing all these rests in the left hand. Don't hold these notes down longer than you're supposed to. Then at the bottom of the page 13, you have that decrescendo arrow in the second measure. So now you're going to come down sort of a medium soft. Or you can go down to soft, I suppose, if you wanted to. Here. And that's the right hand. So the left hand has to get even softer than that. Then for the last measure, now you're soft. Which means the left hand has to be really soft. Well, it's easy to do there because the left hand has rest. You're not doing anything. But on page 14 you are, so keep the left hand soft. Remember, we need to hear the rest in the left hand. I can't stress that enough. Now you have a crescendo in the second line, second measure. Go back up to sort of medium loud. Now the left hand isn't going to go medium loud. It applies to the melody. The left hand's going to increase a little bit, but don't go above medium soft in the left hand here. And then the right hand comes in at medium loud. bottom of the page, second measure, you're coming back down again, back down to about a medium soft or so. And then you have a medium loud, all of it for the new phrase. So you just right there abruptly pick it up. So that last line is here. Softer. Now. Just pick it up. And then you're going to stay at medium loud down to, on page 15, it's the fourth line down. You have that decrescendo arrow. Now you're going to come back down probably to a medium soft, maybe a soft. And then both hands go up. You're just staying soft. And at the end you have a retardando. You're going to soft and slow down. Yeah. Now a little bit about moving the hands around. On page 15, fourth line down, starting at the second measure, you're down here. Both hands got to go up. That's tricky. The right hand finishes first because the left hand has that note to play in the third measure. So while you're doing that, get the right hand up where it goes. Here. And that way, you got one beat, then to get the left hand where it goes, because the right hand's in place. So it's here. So work out the hand, practice the hand moves if you have to, because the beat goes on. Don't hesitate or mess up the beat for it. Now when you're playing this for people, you got to figure out how to get this page turn in, because you can't mess up the beat. The beat goes on. Don't hesitate or mess that up just because you got to turn a page. So you have to figure it out. And we do practice page turns, but here it's not so bad because you have a rest in the left hand at the bottom. And as you're playing these notes in the right hand, you can quickly use the left hand to turn the page. You may have to practice that, but you want to have that turned before you get to the next page because the left hand has to play. So practice the page turn. I want to do a play with you to play it slowly so we can check the notes and the rhythms, but we're not going to do the page turn thing. I'm going to do page 13, then we're going to stop, then I'm going to count us in again on page 14, and we're going to do 14 to 15 together. So, but we're not performing it, we're just playing it slowly to check it. And I'm not going to do the dynamics. You do the dynamics on your own. I just want to check the notes and the rhythms. So I'm going to give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. So go ahead and put your hands, you're starting in C position. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. Stop, turn the page, put your hands in the position where they go. You want your index fingers on these notes, that's where your hands go. 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4.